We're gonna take our time and we're gonna start with the Derek Chauvin Trial update. Okay? We're gonna start with the Derek Chauvin Trial update. And I believe that the prosecution, this is rare. I'm going to be on the side of the prosecution. I'm going to say that the prosecution won the first week of the trial, without a doubt. The prosecution won the first week of the trial, and let me explain to you why. See, I got receipts up right here, so I'm going to tell you what I picked up from the first week of the trial. Right, something that was released that nobody really knew about, and that was the very first interaction, the very first moments, right, that George Floyd had with these officers. Do you understand? So I'm gonna go ahead and I put together like a little cut for y'all so y'all can see, right, the sinister things that we're dealing with when we talking about this case. I ain't even pressed play yet. $20 bill, hands on the steering wheel.
Man, I got shot the same way as I was before.
Okay, well, when I say let me see your hands, you put your hands up. Step out and face away.
Please don't shoot me, please, man.
I'm not gonna shoot you. Step out and face away.
I'm gonna get out of here, man. Please don't shoot me, man. I just lost my mom, man.
I just lost my mom.
I didn't know, man.
Get out of the car.
I didn't know.
They don't look at the humanity of a person and what he's telling you. They don't see you as a human. They don't see you as a human being. They see you as something that just slowed up their day, their donut eating day. You're telling me about your mom. You're telling me about emotions. I gotta deal with this shit. It's the most sickest shit. They say for that, I'm gonna fuck you up. They say for that, I'm gonna make you pay. I ain't even pressed play yet. So that's what I got across, and that's what they got across. The first week of the trial, and then there was even more sinister things that they got across in the trial. I'm about to give y'all the receipts. We're gonna take our time slow on this because make no mistake, the prosecution won the first week. They won the first week. So let me bring up these receipts too real quick. Let me grab this. I'm gonna throw the Cash App link in the chat. You tune in to the Black People's Podcast. If you would like to support the podcast, feel free to Cash App $Breadman281. That's $Breadman281. If you're new to the platform, make sure you hit the subscribe button right now. Let me take my time and get some other receipts up, and we'll go through the most memorable moments of last week in the George Floyd trial, and then I'll let y'all soak that up. Yeah, I set that one to the side. Let me find that. Memorable moments. Let me pause. These are the most memorable moments during the trial last week. I showed y'all the most important thing, what I saw, and it was the most gruesome thing. The most gruesome thing I ever saw. It was George Floyd begging for his life when the officers pulled up upon arrival with guns drawn over a $20. Supposedly, it hasn't been proven yet, a $20 counterfeit bill. That's how they pulled up on George Floyd. And so that's the most important thing I got. But let me give y'all the rest of week one. Let's go.
Did you feel threatened by the police officers?
Yes.
Did you feel threatened by Mr. Chauvin?
Yes. I have a black father. I have a black brother. I have black friends. And I look at that and I look at...
Well, damn, why it's not playing? Hold on, I'm sorry, y'all. Let me get this up right. Now they want to play. Don't play. There we go.
Did you feel threatened by the...
Don't play.
Feel threatened by Mr. Chauvin?
Yes. I have a black father. I have a black brother. I have black friends. And I look at that and I look at how that could have been one of them. It's been nights I stayed up apologizing and apologizing to George Floyd for not doing more and not physically interacting and not saving his life. But it's like, it's not what I should have done. It's what he should have done.
What's the point of doing chest compressions? pumping the blood for somebody that's not doing that themselves, trying to get a pulse back.
And were you able to do that, any of those steps?
No, sir.
Why weren't you able to do any of that?
Because the officers didn't let me into the scene.
When you couldn't do that, how did that make you feel?
Totally distressed.
Were you frustrated?
Yes.
I think you made some reference about why you videotaped, because our memories are fallible, right? And again, a stressful situation can impact your memory.
We're looking at
Absolutely.
the first week.
That's why
The
we're
first
looking at
week,
this
the most
video.
memorable moments.
Would you describe other people's demeanors as upset or angry?
I don't know if you've seen anybody be killed, but it's upsetting.
I'm going to just ask you to answer my questions as I ask them to you, okay? Did you describe Mr. Floyd as a small, slim man?
Overruled.
Yeah, it appeared to, with 3 grown men on top of somebody, it appeared that he was small and frail.
Okay.
They got nowhere to go.
But I know that
I'm
not
gonna-
to be
there's
true.
no
They got nowhere to
Your job
go.
is to answer that.
I was finishing my answer.
I will determine when your answer is done.
Okay, well,
And so, do not argue with the court. Do not argue with counsel. Answer the questions. Do not volunteer information that is not requested.
You
Wow.
described, and again, for
Wow,
the record, this is
pay attention.
7:45:10.
Pay attention,
Describe
yo.
the
Let me
jurors
tell y'all
what they're
something.
doing.
Let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all something. This is why I'm covering this. This is why I'm covering this, because depending my hands start shaking when I start thinking about it, because depending on the outcome of this trial and watching what you're watching, it's going to become case study, no doubt. But this is going to be one of the most historical shit since Rodney King. This is going to be the most historical verdict since Rodney King to come out. And see, now you're watching the technology. You ain't even got to be a professional law person to watch these highlights. You understand what I'm saying? And see how the whole system is just trying to suppress the truth, and they still failing. Huh? You called the lady up there to tell her truth, didn't you?
The $20 bill that I just received.
And is that something you always do, or something about this?
No, when I saw the bill, I noticed that it had a blue pigment to it, kind of how a $100 bill will have, and I found that odd, so I assumed that it was fake.
What was going through your mind during that time period?
Disbelief and guilt.
Why guilt?
If I would have just not taken the bill, this could have been avoided.
They can't hide it. They can't suppress this one.
We'll just give you a moment, Mr. McDonald. I'm not sure if there's water for you as well. If you need a break to get some water, let me know. We can take a
The
break.
most memorable moments of
I
week
know
one.
This is difficult.
The most
Just
memorable
explain
moments of week one. This is what we
you're
watching.
feeling in this moment.
I feel helpless.
What did I observe when I arrived on scene? There was a police squad, an individual laying down, 3 officers on the individual. There was multiple people. There was multiple cell phones out. There was elevated tones used. It didn't feel like a welcoming environment.
What did his condition appear to be to you overall?
In lay terms, I thought he was dead.
So, officers in the back doing chest compressions, you're getting set up, correct?
Yes, sir.
You went to the second location so that your partner could get back in the back with you to take over for the officer, right?
Not to take over. We needed everybody we could at that time.
Why didn't you just have the officer help you continue so you could go straight to the hospital?
Wow.
That's not what we do.
Is it because he's not an EMT?
Any layperson can do chest compressions. There's no reason Minneapolis couldn't have started chest compressions.
That's not my question. The question is, he's not an EMT, correct?
I don't know the level of certification of the individual that got into the back of my rig.
You wanted a partner who could help you out, correct?
I wanted as many people that were willing to help me at that time.
And is the placement of a
Y'all keep up.
knee on a
Hey, let me talk to me in the chat. Can y'all keep up, or am I moving too fast? Am I giving you true information overload? Pay attention, because again, this is going to be the most historical case decision since the Rodney King verdict. So we got to make sure these people are documented in history. Salute to that man for telling his truth. There's a constant theme here. Let's go.
subject's neck a use of force?
Yes.
A reportable type of force?
Not necessarily.
Okay. And why is that?
For handcuffing somebody in a prone position or fighting with someone, it could happen where your knee ends up on their neck.
Okay. For about how long?
I guess whatever's reasonable.
Okay. And which would be when?
Until you get control of the party, I guess.
Control is in the person is then handcuffed?
Handcuffed and not continuing to fight with you anymore.
So once the subject is handcuffed and no longer resisting?
Yes.
At that point, the restraint should stop.
Yeah. When Mr. Floyd was no longer offering up any resistance to the officers, they could have ended the restraint.
And that was after he was handcuffed and on the ground and no longer resisting?
Correct.
Have you ever...
I'm sorry. I got to do this, y'all. I'm sorry. We got a different type of style here. I'm sorry.
Shit like that. This is my shit.
Yo. Am I moving too fast for you? Am I moving too fast for you? Is it too much? Is it too much real information? Let me. I'm sorry, y'all. Let me continue. That's what you call hardcore body prosecution.
Years you've been working for the Minneapolis Police Department, been trained to kneel on the neck of someone who is handcuffed behind their back in a prone position.
No, I haven't.
Is that, if that were done, would that be considered force?
Absolutely.
What level of force might that be?
That would be the top tier, the deadly force.
Why?
Because of the fact that if your knee is on a person's neck, that can kill him.
What is your, your view of that use of force during that time period?
Totally unnecessary.
What do you mean?
Well, first of all, pulling him down to the ground, face down, and putting your knee on a neck for that amount of time is just uncalled for. I saw no reason why the officers felt they were in danger, if that's what they felt. And that's what they would have to feel to be able to use that kind of force.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel.
Most memorable moments of the case, and then also, you know what's interesting? That wasn't even CNN. That was NBC or MSNBC. That wasn't even CNN. Right? I got one more receipt to show y'all. I want to talk about something just real quick. I want to keep it funky for the other side and show you what the other side is resulting to. Because right now they're dead in the water. I'm going to give you my final take and we'll move on to the next topic. But I want to make sure that we all on the same page. I want to make sure that we all on the same page, right, about this case. Let's go to his supervisor. That's what I'm looking for. There you go.
Right now,
let's look at this white bottle of milk of magnesia tell her story, because it's getting so desperate. It's already so desperate. It's already so desperate for the defense. You see what I'm saying? You see the necessary force, you know, that necessary force shit that they talking about, that they try to use, all that's out the window. Right? You know how they debate like months and months and months, how they did during the Rodney King trial? I'm going to start finding those receipts. How we had to watch during the Rodney King trial, how they repeatedly beat this man to a pulp. We watched 10 LAPD officers beat Rodney King to a pulp over and over and over and over and over for like months, bro. That's why I went so crazy after the verdict. We watched people actually debate whether that was necessary force. Y'all remember that? So Rodney King, salute to Rodney King, RIP. He already set precedent. So that argument, that's out the window. That's out the window. Even we got supervisors, we got people that work for the department, we got their own, we got the defense own witnesses coming up saying, well, I don't know nothing about that though. He didn't have to do all that. He really didn't. Nah, that's unnecessary. Nah, that's deadly. That was lethal. Like, that ain't what we do. So the debate, we don't have to stand this time, right, how we did. We don't have to waste a lot of months. You see what I'm saying? Watching George Floyd put his knee in his back and choke him out and suffocate him and commit murder in front of our very eyes. We don't have to debate whether George Floyd was fighting. He was handcuffed. He was unconscious. He was handcuffed and he was unconscious. So we don't even have to debate that no more. But so let me show you the other side. Let me show you the other side. Let me show you the nasty corner, that the defense has been pushed into. You tuned into the Black People's Podcast. Make sure you hit like, make sure you hit share, make sure you hit subscribe. If you would like to support the podcast, feel free to cash app $Breadman281. That's $Breadman281. I got links in the chat. Salute to the bread gang. Let me get back on these receipts though, because here's the nasty corner that they've been pushed into. It's nasty. It's an extra nasty corner. Look, let me show you.
Your future, whether it's employee.
We're going to see how they're going to do it coming out this extra nasty corner. Now, what I'm about to show you is a witness for the defense. What you're about to witness is going to be hard to watch. It's a white bottle of milk of magnesia, and it seems like she's speaking about her former relations with George Floyd. Now, y'all know it's somewhere I can go with this, but then y'all gon', they get mad. They get mad when I start telling the truth, so I'm going to stop. So now we got to listen to his former bottle of milk of magnesia tell her truth and try to tell his truth while he's not here. Pay attention.
Now to day 4 of the Derek Chauvin trial. NBC's Gabe Gutierrez takes us through yesterday's emotional testimony.
It didn't take long for Courtney Ross to cry as she remembered how she met George Floyd in 2017.
Floyd's what I would call mama's boy. I could tell from the minute I met him.
This now iconic photo of Floyd Ross.
Oh, wow. Don't do that. There's nothing wrong with the audio.
Deep Southern voice rap.
They began dating, and she told jurors how he was devastated by the death of his mother.
He seemed kind of like a shell of himself. Like he was broken. He seemed so sad.
During her testimony, meant to humanize Floyd, one juror off camera had a furrowed brow and one of his hands up by his masked face, seemingly emotional. Ross said injuries and his desire to still be physically active led Floyd to pain pills.
We both suffered from chronic pain. Mine was in my neck and his was in his back. We got addicted and tried really hard to break that addiction many times.
In March of 2020, Ross testified she drove Floyd to the hospital and learned he'd overdosed.
You did not know that he had taken heroin at that time?
No.
Derek Chauvin's defense team has argued that Floyd's underlying health conditions and drug use killed him. Not the 9 minutes and 29 seconds that prosecutors say the former Minneapolis officer held his knee on Floyd's neck. The next two witnesses, paramedics, said Floyd had no pulse when EMS arrived at the scene.
I didn't see any breathing or movement or anything like that.
In lay terms, I thought he was dead.
Testimony came after prosecutors on Wednesday played body camera videos from all 4 officers that responded, including Chauvin's, which had not been seen publicly before. His camera fell beneath a police squad car as officers struggled with Floyd. Later, Chauvin's voice is heard explaining why he restrained Floyd for so long.
Trying to control this guy because he's a sizable guy.
Yeah, and I thought he didn't get in the car.
Looks like he's probably on something.
Philona's Floyd was in the courtroom as prosecutors showed graphic images of the efforts to resuscitate his brother inside the ambulance.
There's no justification why a person should put their knee and all of their weight on a man's neck until they pass. He was tortured to death.
Facts. So let's stop right there. Let's stop right there because I got a body coming up. Now I want to get my body off. Now I'm finna get my body off so I can get y'all out this dusty ass corner. I'm talking about the prosecution. I'm finna get y'all up out this dusty ass corner because y'all know I do the real work. You tune into the Black People's Podcast. Y'all know I do the real work. So you see that. So now you see off top that they can't say that he was fighting. Right? That he was whether it was debatable, whether it was necessity of force. That's out the window. So now the prosecution is trying to lead towards his health, right? Well, here's the thing. You just heard the man say, I thought he might have been on something. That's one, right? But see, I'm going to show you something even more sinister. Here comes a body. I'm going to give you my final thoughts. You tune into the Black People's Podcast. Make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. If you're new, hit the subscribe button right now. And also, people, share. Share right now if you can. Share right now if you can. Now, let me bring up my own receipts. Because this is where it becomes a lot more sinister. The news. That's my source. Yeah, let me pause that. Subscribe right now if you tuned in. Y'all about to get that work. Let me turn that down. Y'all about to get that work. This is where it becomes a lot more sinister, y'all. Right? Let me show you. Oh, yeah, I got you. Red-handed. Let me play this for y'all. I'm gonna give y'all the full screen. I gotta give y'all a full screen for this. I'm gonna play off for this for y'all, and then I'm gonna explain to y'all exactly what y'all just heard and what's going on. Just finna get that whole he was on drugs argument out the way. Right? I'm finna get y'all out that dusty ass corner real quick. We're gonna stop that right now. Because this is where it turns into torture. Pay attention. I got the receipts. Pay attention.
Need some water or something. Please. I'm about to die, just say. Relax. Man, I can't breathe my face.
Issue. So now, hold on. Let me find these kids. The kids was up there. Let me find it. Oh, here we go. You're going to hear them say, Tao, what are you doing? Tao? And Tao responds, he says, yo, don't do drugs. There we go.
Check his pulse. Okay. Check his pulse, Tao. Tao, check his pulse. Tao, check his pulse, bro. Bro, check his pulse, bro. You bogus, bro. Don't do drugs, guys. Don't do drugs, bro.
Ooh. Body. Hold on. I'm gonna give it to you real quick. So let me help y'all understand. Let me say this real quick. So that means so it wasn't sporadic the way he died. That means he was unconscious for over 5 minutes. So here you got a black man telling him, yo, the nigga unconscious. Check his pulse. And so now you have one of the officers admitting he's having knowledge. He's saying, Don't do drugs. And that's only two things. Either you being extra nasty, you being extra sick, and you mocking this black man. You saying this black man crazy. You don't need to do drugs, dog. You tripping. You're not, what you seeing is not real. Or is what y'all actually saying as a defense. You had knowledge that he had a medical condition going on, and you still choked him out. Pay attention. Pay attention.
He's the knee in my dick. I can't breathe.
Bro, get up, get in the car, man.
I will.
Get up, get in the car.
I can't move.
I've been waiting the whole time, man. Get up, get in the car.
Mama.
Get up and get in the car right.
I can't.
I gave y'all the opportunity to get in, bro. I told you can't win.
My knee.
You can't win, man. Check his pulse. Okay. Check his pulse, child. Child, check his pulse. Child, check his pulse, bro. Bro, check his pulse, bro. You bogus, bro.
Don't do
you
drugs,
bogus.
guys.
Don't do drugs, bro. What is that? What do you think that is? You so you call what he doing? What is that? What do you think that is? You so you. Bro, check his pulse, bro. You bogus, bro.
Don't do
you
drugs,
bogus.
guys.
Don't do drugs, bro. What is that? What do you think that is? You so you call what he doing? Okay.
You know what that is, y'all? You know what that is, y'all? That's a body.
Shit like that, shit like that.
That's a body.
My shit. This is my shit.
That's a body. That's a body. That's a body. You got nowhere to run if the prosecution does their job properly. And each and every officer that's on trial for this case should be put under the jailhouse. They got nowhere to run. And see, let me get this up too. Let me get some more receipts up too while I'm giving y'all my little final. I'm gonna rehash this for salute to Black Jade. I see Black Jade just showed up. Salute to Jeanette Jarvis. Welcome. Salute to Miss Sparkle. Welcome. What up, Jay Sean? I'm gonna show y'all the body I just caught real quick. Both of those cases, or both of those defenses, they're out the window. Out the window. Right? And so as I was saying at the beginning of this stream, make sure you share right now. Hit the likes, get the likes up. As I was saying at the beginning of the stream, this case, right, this decision is going to be the most historical trial and the most historical trial decision since Rodney King and OJ. Put it in whichever order you want. And depending on the outcome, this one might shoot straight to the top because there's too much precedent set. Where my receipts at? Because I've been doing the real work. Let me find my receipts, man. I've been out here like really doing the real work. Right? Y'all see me laughing and joking a lot, but it's a method to the madness to what I do. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to get this right. There we go. So when we finally get into this case, man, this stuff it strikes to my core when we finally start to see these receipts coming out. Receipt number one, how you pulled up to the car with the whammy out. You pulled up to the car with the whammies and the jammies out over a $20 counterfeit bill. We never even got that story. He told you he was afraid for his life before y'all even got him out the car. He said he had been shot before by people like you. Y'all did the same thing to him before, right? So they was able to establish George Floyd's mindset. He was afraid for his life. He was the one that was afraid for his life. So that argument is out the window. None of these cops can say at any point were they afraid for their lives. That's usually how they get off. That's usually how they get off. That one's out the window. That was receipt number one. Receipt number two, they brought their own people up there to show you time and time again that this is not protocol. No rhyme and reason whatsoever where George Floyd should have lost his life like this. And then finally, receipt number 3, even when they try to take you to the whole fentanyl, right? The whole fentanyl, fentanyl and drugs in the system defense, right? Even when they try to come at you like that, it shows you that they had prior knowledge. Even as he stayed and laid on the floor with a knee in his neck, struggling for his life, it shows you that at least one of the officers had knowledge, right, of a medical condition. Yet you held people at bay. You didn't check his pulse. You waited for the ambulance and the authorities to come. You didn't do your job. You refused to do your job. So that's why I say the first week goes to the prosecution. I didn't see nothing that led me to think that I should be worried. Now, what I'm actually pissed off is, as this trial goes on, you're going to start to think to yourself that I don't even think that these people facing the charges that they should be facing. You see, that's how we getting hit with the oopty wop. They gonna say before the end of the trial, y'all gonna really see that, yo, even if we get the guilty verdict, y'all gonna walk away dissatisfied because you're gonna say that shit, that the charges, these charges wasn't even enough. From what we found out in the from the trial, when we got to the receipts, it looked more like first-degree murder. It looked more like torture. Right? Tuned in to the Black People Podcast.